Hi, I'm Emily Ratajkowski. I am a model, an entrepreneur, and a writer, and this is how I got here. My first job was modeling. I remember doing Teen magazine. It was all very glamorous to me. The makeup artist over-plucked my eyebrows, though. I do remember that. Yeah, I remember cashing my $100 check and feeling really good about it. A young girl going into modeling today, I would tell her that the agencies, as much as they seem like they're interested in protecting you, they're not. They're interested in protecting the clients, and you have to learn how to have your own limits and boundaries and to take care of yourself and protect yourself and make sure you're comfortable with things every step of the way. I think that the industry really needs to change, but that could be a way that a young woman could protect herself. There's been so many times in my career where I thought about changing career paths or giving up. I stopped modeling or stopped totally modeling when I went to college and I thought I was gonna be an artist or I was an art major. Then I left and I started modeling full time. Then I sort of dabbled in acting and now I feel like I'm constantly evolving and not giving up, but refocusing. Favorite job, having my own business and working with a group of women that I love, that are my friends, that has also been so enjoyable. I think the biggest obstacle in my career has been transitioning and doing things that, people didn't really expect and being outspoken and just saying I'm also interested in this. But, it's more like frustrating than anything. I think that you just have to kind of forge ahead and do what you're gonna do and be who you are. I am very hard on myself in general, so there's been so many moments where I felt like a failure. Early on, it would just be not getting an audition or, getting close to a booking for a job and missing it, and it sort of felt like everything was collapsing. What I like now is that, things, the way that I've built my career, things are more in my hands and in my control, so those failures feel more like road bumps than like huge losses, and I feel less impacted by other people saying no because I figured out my ways of getting to where I want to get to. Having control and finding control where I can in, the various industries that I work in has been the thing that I enjoy the most. I've had a lot of different jobs that have impacted my life, but I think writing the book and selling the book has been the job that's impacted my life the most. I started writing for myself. I didn't think that it was going to be a job or a career path, which was part of the pleasure of doing it. It just started for myself. I was writing notes on my phone, and eventually they turned into documents, and then those eventually turned into essays, and then all of a sudden I had enough to call it a book. So there's so many things that I've learned from writing the book. Personal, professional, all kinds of things about the world in general. If somebody had told me 3 years ago that I would have written a book and published it, I wouldn't have believed them. So I really do think the biggest lesson for me has been that if you want to do something and you set your mind to it and you are really diligent and, just disciplined, you can make it happen. The most challenging thing for me was transitioning from that time where I was just writing for myself and examining questions or experiences that I'd had to, really knowing that it was going to be published. I was also pregnant and then just had a baby and was finishing the book, so that was really difficult, getting no sleep and trying to write good essays. Oh, my relationship to my body is ever changing. Now I'm sort of in the postpartum phase where, my body has been through so much in the past 2 years, and I'm sort of getting to know this new body and also accepting that that's going to change again. But I think that I've gained a new appreciation for my body and a new way of caring for it that I hadn't had when I was younger. The word beauty, just means so many things for different people. I see in my life that has nothing to do with physical beauty, and then there's sort of the way that women have to be constantly aware of beauty and how they want to represent themselves in the world, whether they, want to kind of cover up their beauty or they want to accentuate it. And I think every woman kind of goes through that negotiation every day. I'm figuring out how I feel about beauty and choosing to enjoy the small moments of beauty in life rather than be so hard on myself for like putting on makeup in the morning. I think that word just means so many things. I definitely experience self-doubt. I write about it. One of the things that used to be really hard for me as a young person was, even with writing, for example, I was an avid reader. I knew that I wasn't a terrible writer, but I also felt, very sure of the fact that I was never going to be as good as I wanted to be. And I think getting past that and just doing it, and even doing something poorly or badly, can be hugely, hugely important. So the way to battle self-doubt is just to keep working. It's okay to have that feeling, but kind of to move past it. The haters motivate me. Definitely, I kind of like proving myself in a lot of ways, but also I've found this new form of motivation that's really much more sustainable and I think healthy, just wanting to feel fulfilled myself. And that's something I've kind of only recently discovered, but that feels much better than responding to the haters. We live in a world where people are so used to sort of ingesting media and this clickbait, and I do it as well, where you kind of see a headline and then you make up your mind about something. And one of the reasons that I chose to write this book is because I think writing is one of the few mediums that you can really hold so much nuance and write it into the essays and the work. So my main hope for the book is that people just read it and formulate their opinions from the actual text. I think more than anything, my journey with feminism, I think that there was sort of a defiance in my early 20s of like, this is what feminism is, this is who I am in that scope, and kind of, not being very open. And I feel now that I have a curiosity around feminism and I like to ask a lot of questions. I also think that I'm more open to learning and just hearing about other women's experiences. That there's sort of a way that we teach young people in general, really, but especially women, to kind of not trust themselves and to second guess their instincts. So my advice would be to trust your gut, and that's the best advice I've received. And ultimately it's your life and you have to go to sleep and wake up with yourself, and doing what feels right to you is always going to be the best thing, even if other people don't agree. 5 years' time, I see myself making a lot more things, whether it be writing another book or working in film, or, I think just there's so many mediums that I'm interested in, and I just want to keep making things. Okay, so I'm Emily Ratajkowski. This is how I got here. Please go and check out my book of essays, My Body.